Hey, welcome to this episode of the Wealth Rebels Show. I'm your host, the resident Wealth Rebel here, Emma Wright, and I'm bringing to you today a topic of getting under the bonnet of pensions. I want to talk about what pensions is, what it isn't, and kind of really help to unpick some of the things that you really want to understand. I want to simplify them. I want you to feel really empowered by maybe what pensions might do for you when it comes to investing. Okay. Firstly, the biggest thing that I want to talk to you about before we dive into the pension is what even is a tax wrapper? I talked about this the other day. So the way that I feel like I can bring this to life for you is really considering what it is that we're trying to do with a pension in the first place. So I'm just going to move over here, realize that it might be helpful if I move this over here. So you work really, really, really hard for every single pound or dollar or yen that you make and you bring into your life, into your business, into everything. You work really, really hard, okay? So let's just think about that. Let's just think about all the time and energy for £1 to fall into your world, right? If you are a basic rate taxpayer, in the UK, you pay 20%, then you need to have made £1.25p for that to fall into your bank account. That's the gross amount, that's the net amount, okay? So you have to work harder to make that money. The only reason you would want to hold on to that pound is because you want to spend it now, okay? And I talk about three different things that you can do really with your pound. Yeah, is that you either spend it now, you save it, or you invest it. Okay, and you're giving every pound that you've made, that you've spent. Just think of all the time and energy and money you've made, given up to make that £1.25. So yes, you've earned £1.25, but you might have given so much more time away, even in the background, in order to bring that and create that and bring it into your world through your business, through your career. So, this is really full of love and nurture, and it drops in to be spent in your life. And you've therefore, we just put a little line over here, therefore given 25p of that away in tax, 20%, and therefore you are left with £1 to spend. And you'd only want to pay the tax really if you want to spend it. Okay, and we're talking about personal wealth here, right? So if you don't want to spend it, then we need to take some action with it. We need to really be intentional with what we do with that pound. Otherwise, it's just wasted, isn't it? If it's just sat in your bank account. Because once it's sat in your bank account, it's unlikely to earn huge amounts of interest that keeps its real value over time due to inflation. And I can talk about inflation at another time. Because fundamentally, if you don't want to spend it, and this is the present moment, this is your freedom number. Okay, remember, I'm going to talk more about my wealth building pyramids in other videos, but there's three things we can do: spend for freedom, save for security, and invest for independence. Yeah, and this is the pyramid, and we're moving along. We want to feel secure. So we save some of that pound. So yeah, we're happy to pay tax because we want to keep it in our immediate money. Okay, we want to keep it in an accessible bank account, maybe like an emergency fund. And then we've got the freedom aspect, is that this is the present moment investment. This is where we're spending on our best life. So we are intentionally spending that pound or saving it. Now, if we don't want to spend it or save it for the immediate term, this is today, this is the near term, maybe in the next 3 years. This is longer term. If we don't need that pound for either of these intentions, then we really want to think about doing something longer term, something more savvy. putting it into something where it's going to grow by more than inflation and more than cash rate so that it can at least keep its value. That's when we might look at putting it into some other kind of investment vehicle. Now, that other investment vehicle could be your business. It could be investing it into other companies like the stock market, right? In order to put that money into the stock market, we need to put it into a different type of investment vehicle or an investment account. So I always think, we think about the investment account as the tax wrapper, right? Because the reason we call it a tax wrapper in the investment world or the wealth world is because usually it impacts the way that it's taxed. So we put that pound into here. You put the pound in, you say you paid your tax, you put your pound in from your bank account. When you put that money into a pension, and this is a personal pension, it's different if it's an employer pension because usually your employer will take it before they pay you. There's different types of ways you can put money into a pension. But if you did this in your own pension on a platform, you would put a pound in, and then the government, HMRC, gives you back your 25p. So they give you back your basic rate tax. What if I'm a higher rate taxpayer or an additional rate taxpayer? Well, at that point, then you do your self-assessment and you could claim more money back on the gross amount that you've paid in. You get money back on the whole amount, not just your pound, right? So this is what is important to note about pensions. All a pension really is the thing that goes around your money, okay? So this is, a pension. I would put it a personal pension, okay? Where you put the pound in, we call it the net amount, they gross it up, using some terminology here, and, you gross it up, and then you get your tax back. Because if you don't need it in the near term, then you want to get your tax back. Now, this is why it's important to set an intention, because you need to really understand the tax wrappers that you are going into. Because with a pension, you need to know that you can't access that pension until a future date. You can't access it until currently age 55 in the UK. 10 years prior to the state pension age, soon to be 57 in 2028. So, so whatever age you're at, if it is your long-term freedom, I call it your independence fund. If you're looking to just put it away and you don't need it, and we talked about this we're going to be talking about this with Adam's interview, Adam Brewer, where we're talking about, knowing what your intention is for, when are you going to need it, and then what is your attitude to risk and your capacity for loss? Like, for example, if something happens in your life, are you going to need that pound? Because if you are going to need that pound, then you don't want to be putting it in necessarily into a pension. And this is why it's super, super important. So the thing that goes around your money could be a pension. It could be an ISA, an individual savings account, which, yes, can hold stocks and shares, can hold different things. You can hold different assets in your pension, just like you can with the stocks and shares. ISA could be a lifetime ISA. Okay, it could be a general investment account. And these are just different types of investment accounts that you can access. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I just wanted to really kind of dive in a little bit about pensions. Come into the Star portal if you want to know more. You can come in for a month for free with Star 1 month at the checkout. Go to the show notes, have a look, and go in and have a checkout. You can click on the link. It'll take you into the information on the Star portal, because every month I host the Star Investment Circle in my live Zoom room where I talk like this. You get to ask me anything. I can demonstrate platforms that can really show you how to invest. If you've got your own unique circumstances, we can talk about it. That is what it's all about. I want you to feel really super empowered about getting started, because you can get started with as little as £1 with, with certain investment platforms out there. So, it could be the price of your monthly coffee habit to put away into something that over time could have a profound impact on your wealth. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Namaste.